In the beginning, the world was new, beautiful, and full of life. God created humans and gave them a wonderful place called the Garden of Eden. But one wrong choice changed everything. From the first sin, to jealousy and the first murder, to a world filled with evil, and finally, a great flood that covered the entire earth. But even in judgment, God showed mercy and hope. This is the story from Genesis chapter 3 to 10.
Genesis chapter 3, the first sin. Adam and Eve were living in the beautiful Garden of Eden. God had given them everything they needed. But there was one rule. God said, "You may eat fruit from any tree in the garden except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil." One day a serpent came to Eve. The serpent said, "Did God really say you can't eat from that tree?" Eve replied, "God said if we eat it, we will die." The serpent lied and said, "You will not die. You will become like God, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the fruit. It looked good and delicious, so she took it and ate it. Then she gave some to Adam, and he ate it too. Suddenly they realized they were naked, and they felt ashamed. When God came to the garden, they hid from him. God asked Adam, "Did you eat from the tree I told you not to eat from?" Adam blamed Eve. Eve blamed the serpent. Because of their disobedience, sin entered the world. God sent Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden. Genesis chapter 4, Cain and Abel. Adam and Eve had two sons, Cain and Abel. Cain was a farmer. Abel was a shepherd. One day they both brought offerings to God. Abel brought the best from his flock. Cain brought some crops from the ground. God accepted Abel's offering, but not Cain's. Cain became very angry and jealous. God warned him, "Sin is waiting for you, but you must control it." But Cain didn't listen. One day, he took Abel into the field and killed him. God asked Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain replied, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Because of this sin, Cain was punished and sent away.
Genesis chapter 5. This chapter lists the generations from Adam to Noah. People lived for many hundreds of years during that time. One special man was Enoch. Enoch walked faithfully with God, and one day God took him away. Genesis chapter 6. The world becomes evil. As people multiplied on earth, wickedness grew everywhere. God saw that people's hearts were full of evil. God was deeply saddened. But there was one man who was righteous. His name was Noah. Noah found favor in God's eyes. God told Noah, "I will bring a great flood to destroy the earth, but you must build an ark to save your family and the animals." Genesis chapter 7. The Great Flood. Noah built the ark just as God commanded. Then animals came in pairs, male and female. Noah, his wife, his sons, and their wives entered the ark. Then God shut the door. Rain fell for 40 days and 40 nights. Water covered the entire earth. Everything outside the ark was destroyed. But Noah and those in the ark were safe. Genesis chapter 8. The waters go down. After many days, the water began to go down. God remembered Noah. The ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Noah sent out a raven and later a dove to see if the land was dry. Finally, the dove returned with an olive leaf. Noah knew the earth was becoming dry again. Genesis chapter 9. God's promise. When Noah came out of the ark, he built an altar to thank God. God made a covenant with Noah. He promised, "Never again will I destroy the earth with a flood." As a sign of this promise, God placed a rainbow in the sky. The rainbow became a reminder of God's covenant. Genesis chapter 1, 0. The nations spread. After the flood, Noah's sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth had many descendants. Their families spread across the earth. From them came many different nations and peoples. This chapter explains how the world's nations began. And that's the story from Genesis chapter 3 to chapter 10. From the first sin in the Garden of Eden to the great flood of Noah, and how the nations began to spread across the earth. These chapters remind us that even when the world becomes full of sin, God still shows mercy and keeps his promises. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Bible stories. And tell me in the comments, should the next chapter come in short format or long format? Also comment, next chapter, if you want the next part soon. See you in the next video. God bless you.